Welcome to Wisdom of the Bible channel. Hello, dear friends. From the very start of your life, God has been at work in you. Remember, true treasure isn't in money or status. It's in the wisdom and love we gain through God. When we dive into the Bible and live by its truth, we find real wealth in a fulfilling, spiritually rich life. Since the beginning of time, an unseen battle has raged between darkness and light, truth and deception. In the midst of this struggle, God has marked certain individuals for a divine purpose from birth. Shockingly, most people go through life never realizing they were chosen. They feel lost and out of place, chasing after what the world says matters, while missing the greater calling that's been on their life since day one. Think about what the world tells us. It says success is all about riches and luxury. If you don't have a big bank account, the world claims you're worth nothing. But that is a lie. God's definition of success is so much higher than piles of cash or shiny things. His idea of abundance is tied to destiny, the meaningful work and impact you were created for. You could have all the money in the world and still feel empty if you're not living out the purpose God gave you. Look around at people chasing status and wealth. They grab at these things hoping to fill a void, yet many still feel unsatisfied. Why? Because nothing can replace walking in God's plan. When God chooses someone and places a calling on their life, no amount of worldly success can compare to the joy of following His will. If you have ever felt unsatisfied by the pleasures of this world, that itself might be a sign you were made for something more. Have you ever felt different from those around you, even as a child? Maybe you never quite fit into the usual mold. Perhaps you faced challenges early on that others did not. Pay close attention to those feelings. They are not a coincidence. Many of the greatest heroes in the Bible, people who changed history, were set apart from birth. They often felt different or were treated differently, and only later understood why. Think of the prophet Jeremiah. God said to him, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you a prophet to the nations." Jeremiah 1:5. Those words weren't just for Jeremiah. They show how intimately God knows each of us from the very beginning. Before you took your first breath, God already knew your name and your purpose. He placed seeds of destiny in you while you were still in the cradle. Now, all those people God set apart, Jeremiah, Moses, Samuel, and so many others, had to do one important thing: recognize the signs of their calling and step into their purpose. Moses was saved as a baby in a basket because he was chosen to deliver Israel. Young Samuel heard God's voice in the night because he was meant to be a prophet. These individuals paid attention to God's promptings, embraced their calling, and changed the world. And today, it's your turn. You're going to discover something that could change your life forever. We're going to uncover the signs from your childhood that have been pointing to your God-given purpose all along. You might realize that things you thought were ordinary or accidental were actually God's whispers guiding you. You were chosen from the cradle, set apart for a destiny greater than anything this world can offer. Let's explore those signs together. 1. You always felt different or set apart. One clear sign of a calling present since childhood is that feeling of being different. Perhaps you never fit in with the crowd. While other kids blended in, you stood out in your interests, your maturity, or the way you saw the world. This isn't a bad thing, in fact. It's often a strong hint of God's hand on your life. You might have felt like an outsider at school, or even in your family. That loneliness or uniqueness was not for nothing. It was because God made you unique for a unique purpose. Just as a sculptor chisels away to form a masterpiece, God may have kept you apart from certain influences to shape you for His work. Being different could be uncomfortable, but it helped prepare you to follow God's path rather than the crowd. 2. You faced early challenges and trials. Another powerful sign is the adversity you went through at a young age. Have you noticed that some people with a great destiny face major struggles early on? It's as if something tried to stop you before you could even begin. Maybe you grew up in a broken home, or dealt with illness, or faced bullying. These trials weren't proof you were unlucky. They were proof of a higher calling the enemy wanted to derail. Every struggle you pushed through was like training for your future. Think of Joseph in the Bible. His own brothers sold him into slavery, and later he was unjustly imprisoned. Why endure all that? Because he was chosen by God to save a region from famine and lead his family. In the same way, the challenges you faced since childhood show that there's a powerful calling on your life that darkness was desperate to stop. But it didn't succeed. You're still here, and God's not done with you yet. 3. A heart that beats for others. One of the clearest signs of a God-given calling is an unusual compassion and love that showed up early in your life. While other kids might have been self-focused, maybe you stood up for people in need or felt deep empathy for anyone who was hurting. This compassion is more than just a personality trait. It's a sign that God placed a piece of his own heart inside you. Jesus said we should love our neighbor as ourselves, and you've felt that from a young age. That's a big clue you're called to serve or lead with love. 4. Natural talents and gifts appeared early. Think of the things that always came easily to you. Drawing, speaking, writing, problem solving, whatever it was, you had an unusual knack for it. These talents aren't accidents. They're clues to what you were created to do. It's like God slipped these abilities into your spiritual DNA. If you're meant to inspire others, he might have given you a gift for words. If you're called to show compassion, he might have given you a calming presence people trust. 5. A burning passion or interest that never left you. Maybe you've been fascinated by a certain topic or activity since childhood. It's that thing you never grew out of, even when others lost interest. This passion is another roadmap to your destiny. If you were always drawing houses, you might design homes that bless people. If you devoured stories of heroes, maybe you're called to be a leader. God often uses these deep interests to guide you toward what he wants you to do. Think back to your childhood imagination. Did you pretend you were preaching to a congregation of toys? Did you feel alive when helping someone in need? Those small moments weren't trivial. They were hints about who you'd become. 6. Early spiritual experiences or sensitivity. Many chosen people can recall unusual spiritual moments in childhood. Perhaps you felt God's presence strongly, had a vivid dream about Jesus, or naturally enjoyed talking to God. A sensitivity to the divine at a young age is a powerful sign. Maybe you loved reading Bible stories while others found it boring, or you sensed right from wrong before anyone explained it. Like the boy Samuel, you might have heard a gentle voice calling you, not knowing at first it was God. Such experiences show God was guiding you even then. Don't dismiss those childhood spiritual encounters as mere imagination. God can reveal himself to anyone at any age, especially to those he's chosen. He wanted you to know him early because he has big plans for your life. 7. Moments of divine protection. Have you survived a close call that should have harmed you? Perhaps a near accident or a serious illness that miraculously turned around. These moments of protection aren't random. They're part of God's plan to preserve you for your purpose. Think about your life story. Can you see times you were kept safe against the odds? This is like Moses in the basket or Jesus fleeing Herod's wrath. God ensured their safety because they had destinies to fulfill, just as he's done for you. Each of these signs, feeling different, early challenges, compassion, natural talents, lasting passions, spiritual sensitivity, and divine protection, is like a puzzle piece. Put them together, and you see the bigger picture, your calling. None of it was by accident. Maybe until now you've overlooked these signs or thought your childhood was random. But you can see now how God has been weaving every detail into a divine pattern. He's been calling you, often in quiet ways, to follow the path he set for you. So what do you do with this realization? The first step is to embrace it. Stop pushing aside these signs and acknowledge that God has been speaking to you through them. You are chosen, and that's something to celebrate, not avoid. Embracing it might involve spending more time in prayer, asking God to clarify your purpose. It might mean rekindling an old passion, but this time with God's glory in mind. Remember, being chosen doesn't mean life suddenly gets easy, but it does mean your life has meaning and direction. Every step you take toward your calling, you won't be alone. God will be with you just as he always has been. You were chosen from the cradle, my friend. Let that truth sink in. No more wondering if your life matters or if you have anything to offer. God himself has declared you do. All those hints he gave you growing up were his way of saying, "Follow me, I have plans for you." Now that you see the signs, you have a choice. Ignore them or say, "Yes, Lord, I'm ready to live out what you made me for." It's my prayer that you choose to step into your calling. Don't fear being different. You are different for a divine reason. Don't regret your past trials. They shaped you into who you need to be. Use your gifts and passions. God gave them to you for a purpose. Keep that compassionate heart open because our world needs your love. Stay sensitive to God's voice. He'll keep guiding you. And never forget how He protected and sustained you. He will continue to do so as you walk in faith. You were chosen from birth for something special, and the signs have been there all along. Now, with fresh eyes, see them for what they are. Let your childhood clues spark a new fire to chase after God's plan. Embrace your calling and step forward boldly. Your life's purpose was written by God's own hand. It's time to live it out. You are a child of destiny, and the world will be blessed when you fully become who God created you to be. Go forth confidently, knowing that from the cradle to this moment, God has called you His own, set you apart, and prepared you for this time. Your greatest days, walking in your purpose, are just ahead. Embrace it and step into your calling.
Hello, dear viewers. Thank you for watching our channel, Wisdom of the Bible. I personally invite you to subscribe to our channel. It supports us and helps us create more videos. Thank you, and God bless you.